Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your April 2024 mid-month general reading. We are looking roughly at the last half of April, and this reading is for the earth sign of Virgo. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch these videos. So Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, last half of April 2024, or if you're cross-watching for a Virgo, it's all relevant. Of course, being a general reading, it may resonate a little differently for everyone who watches it. So if you know any or all of your sign placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, watch those for additional insight. Those of you who are on the cusp of two signs, it's always a good idea to watch both of those sign videos because it can be useful, provide you a different perspective as well. If something does resonate with you, if it really hits home and you'd like to peel it back and maybe take a deeper look at it, reach out for a personal reading with myself, for yourself, or as a gift for someone else, or both. Feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can see that contact info by clicking the description or title of this video. I would be delighted to hear from you, and I can usually respond the same day or within 24 hours with more information. I do offer a pretty wide variety of readings in all areas of life of all different types, lengths, budgets, styles, spreads. There's something in there, I think, for just about everyone. And I'm pretty diligent about timely scheduling of personal readings too, if that's important to you. So if you're interested, send me an email. Okay, Virgo, let's see what the last half of April 2024 looks like for you. For those of you who like to know, I am using the Deluxe Royal Tarot, clarifying with the Gilded Tarot, both by artist Cyril Marchetti. We begin with the Ace of Cups. Aces, of course, are the number one, so a new start, the opportunity for a new path, an emotional one. For some of you, it might be new love and romance, or the beginning of a road that leads to emotional fulfillment. With the Two of Wands, the Two of Fire, a choice, a crossroads, a path of action, but two paths, so you have to make a choice. Next, we have the Lovers. So a relationship is quite significant, even central here. The Lovers usually represents a relationship itself at a crossroads or a choice that needs to be made. Now, the choice might be about the relationship. You know, do we continue together? And if so, how? Is it time to go our separate ways? Sometimes this can represent third-party situations. In the early tarot decks, there was a card called the Choice, not the Lovers, and that's what it represented, but it doesn't necessarily have to represent that here. You can even pull this in business. It simply means a significant choice, but here it's likely a choice that's going to significantly affect a primary relationship one way or the other. With the Lovers, we have the Devil. So the Devil can represent obsession. Might be obsession around a certain person or a certain relationship. But the Devil can often be an unhealthy, even toxic card. Now, the Devil card energy, because it represents obsession, meaning an extraordinary amount of energy focused in one direction. And that can be quite positive in the short term if you're trying to accomplish something like finish your degree or start your own business or something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's when it can be useful energy because you have to kind of take from other areas of your life to devote it to that. But beyond a certain point, it becomes habit, and that's when it becomes unhealthy and even toxic. So we'll see how it goes here. Next, we have the Queen of Wands. This is a general reading, so it can be female or male. This is the Queen of Fire, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or somebody who's showing up as that energetic, charismatic, go-getter Queen of Wands. With the Devil card, if that's a descriptor for the Queen of Wands, it's somebody who probably has an anger issue or is prone to outbursts of varying degrees. With the Queen of Wands, we have the Nine of Wands, our Wounded Warrior card. So tens in the tarot represent a cycle conclusion or coming full circle. So here, there's a sense of being close to finishing or completing a difficult cycle, or a cycle that has become quite difficult. You may not realize that the end is so close, though. And because the Nine of Wands can represent discouragement, despair. You know, you've been through all of this, and yet here is yet one more thing to deal with, right? And so you're asking yourself, should I give up? Do I have what it takes to power through this? Do I want to? From the bottom of the deck, we have Justice, honesty, transparency, morals, ethics, honor, taking the high road, doing the right thing. Because we reap what we sow. The outcome of something, whether it's in the short term or the long term, depends on our actual actions and morals and ethics and motives. You know, not what we wish or hope for, but what we actually choose and actually do. Which is why, you know, there's always that bit of cautionary advice in Justice to do the right thing. Okay, let's peel this back a little bit. Let's take a look at Justice. The Six of Cups. Justice and the Six of Cups is honoring the past, or honoring the history you have with something, because the Six of Cups is, you know, a card that often represents, you know, history, historical connections, people, places, situations we have a history with. Could be all the way back to childhood, or just situations we have a history with, and maybe a time where we were looking at things through rose-colored glasses, you know, kind of a bit more carefree. We have the Nine of Wands again. It feels like something hasn't turned out the way that you thought it would be, and you're just kind of exhausted. We have the Devil again, and we have the Fool, which is the very first major arcana card in the tarot, signifying a complete new start, a whole new, you know, stepping off into the unknown, taking a leap of faith, doing something completely different. So it feels here like this Devil card twice, the Nine of Wands twice. There's a situation here that is unhealthy, and there's a relationship central to it as well, or a relationship that's being affected by it. Whether or not it's the relationship or some other, you know, area of life that's affecting the relationship in a negative way. This speaks about, I mean, it's quite clear that some of you are thinking of that the issue is dissolving a long-term relationship or marriage here for some of you. For others of you, it's just some other unhealthy situation that really needs to end because it's negatively affecting the relationship. But here it's about, how do you do it in the best way possible? How do you, particularly for those of you for whom this is trying to make a decision about that may involve leaving a long-term relationship or marriage, it's how do I do that in an honorable way? How do I do that in the right way that honors, you know, regardless of what the other person does, says, or thinks now? How do I do this in a way that honors what we've had, that honors the history that we've had together? Because it looks here like somebody really wants a fresh new start. The Ace of Cups and Two of Wands, let's look at that. Now, for some of you, it might be a third-party situation. You may have met someone new, or the other person may have met someone new, or you simply want to exit so that you can have the hope of that. Two of Cups, Ace of Cups, Two of Wands. Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is likely you. For some of you, it might be another earth sign that's significant. Eight of Cups, leaving behind that which may have started out as something you thought was going to be your ultimate fulfillment, but it's turned out not to be. So this is about turning your back and leaving that behind. The Hierophant is kind of the institution. For those of you for whom this is relationship, it's marriage. For others of you for whom this situation isn't the long-term relationship or marriage itself, it can represent, you know, an issue with a job, a company, a corporation of some kind. For others of you for whom this is relationship-oriented but not a third-party situation, it can represent perhaps that, you know, you guys have been together for quite a long time and there's a pretty strong karmic connection, but maybe you're not married. One person has been wanting to. Maybe it's you, maybe it's the other person, but the other person doesn't. And it may be that you feel it's You know, you're considering maybe it's time that you part ways. Three of Pentacles, teamwork, collaboration, compromise, or negotiation. Again, could be third-party situations, the Lovers again. There's a pretty strong... The Tower, the Ten of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands again. Tower and the Ten of Cups. I mean, this is, again, a major change or a major dissolving of something which affects a long-term relationship or marriage, home, and family. Now, again, this might not be about the relationship itself. It might be making some major change, making a decision to have some kind of major significant change because you're working all the hours of the day. You can't, you know, your work-life, home life balance is out of whack, and you're just considering, you know, just leaving, bailing, taking you and your family or your relationship and going somewhere else new. It could be that for some of you. For others of you, it's quite clearly the dissolving of a long-term relationship or marriage, either for the hope of finding somebody that you feel you're more in alignment with, or because you feel you've already found that person. The Queen of Wands, for many of you, is going to represent the other person, or the person you're in or have been in this long-term relationship with. Let's take a look at that Queen of Wands, Nine of Wands. It's a bit of a tough reading here. It's okay, though. Nobody goes through life without something that they have to deal with. Okay, Queen of Wands and Nine of Wands. We have the Eight of Swords. Feeling trapped, feeling held hostage, or feeling, you know, even if it's held hostage by your own morals or obligations, you know. This is somebody who feels they've gotten themselves in a situation and they can't get themselves out of because the external challenges they face are just too much. I can't because of this, I can't because of that, I can't because of the other thing. You can. It's not to say that it wouldn't be difficult, but you can free yourself from it. Swords are governed by the element of air, which governs this, our intellectual landscape, how we think, our perspectives, belief systems, ideologies. That's what's keeping this person trapped. There's a way to walk away from anything and do it in a correct way, even if it's difficult or hard, no matter what the other side or other person does. You know, kind of that taking the moral high ground. The Five of Cups, grief, loss, regret, sorrow. The Queen of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I mean, it's quite clear for some of you, this is a messy third-party situation, regardless of which side of it you're on. You may have found somebody new, they may have found somebody new, somebody's thinking of leaving somebody. I mean, it's all kind of tied up in here in a general reading. It feels difficult and messy. Two of Cups was right after that. Some of you, it feels like you've met your next soulmate or somebody that you feel you're more in alignment with, or your partner has. And again, it's trying to, this whole reading is about trying to navigate your way through this in a way that doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth afterwards. How can I, you know, it's about finding a way through this with the highest moral integrity that you can possibly manage. And with justice, that always means the honest road, right? Being honest, open, transparent. Because no matter how the other side or other person or people react, at the end of the day, you can say, I did the best I absolutely could. And that's pretty much the gist of this reading, is kind of navigating through it that way. So let's end with some advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit. Ten of Swords, conclusions, that's what tens mean. So this is coming to the challenging, perhaps painful realization that something is at an end. It's run its course, or it's simply not going to be perhaps what you thought it was going to be in the beginning. The Knight of Swords, taking action in a very direct and assertive and action-oriented way, but clear and straight. Communication should be open, clear, and direct. The Ten of Wands, because this burden has to end. This is kind of the end of the rope. I can't carry this anymore. Strength, facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, and taking responsibility for any part that you've had to play in this as well. Ace of Wands, so you can have a new beginning and justice again, but doing it in as open, honest, transparent, clear, moral way as possible. This is kind of like, you know, there's a saying that comes to mind here that truth which isn't tempered by human compassion is nothing more, is just cruelty. So always try to remember, regardless of what the other side does or says or reacts, we can only be responsible for what we do. This is about tempering taking the moral high ground, doing what's right and fair, in a fair manner. If you can temper it with compassion, that's always a good thing. Again, not based on the other side. This is based on your own personal morals and ethics. And there's a way to navigate through this with that moral and ethical foundation still intact on the other side of it. So Virgo, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that for those of you for whom this reading resonated, that it was helpful, that it clarified some things or validated some things, or, you know, gave you some food for thought and how to navigate what looks like a challenging time for you. So I hope in that sense it's been helpful. Again, if this really did resonate with you, if you'd like to pull the curtain back on it and take a deeper look, reach out for a personal reading with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, please feel free to email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. You can see that contact info by clicking the description or the title of this video. I would be delighted to hear from you and to work with you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the May general readings. Until then, stay safe and well. Hope to see you back here again quite soon. Bye-bye.